Well, hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and as you can see, we're on Sunday stitching. Now, I'm back into this book, but I wanted to do something a bit different today. This is the one that we did last week, and I finished it off camera, and I'm very pleased with it. But now today, I need to work on this one, so I'm just going to unpin it. Get rid of the book because we don't need the book, and we're going to be working on this side here, but we need to remember that we are going to see it like as a double spread. So as you may know, I've had a birthday, and this is one of the wonderful things that I've received from hubby, and I can't wait to get in here. So I'm going to put it all out, get rid of the noisy cellophane. Now we've got some fantastic raw silk here. That's beautiful. So, and as you can see, I'm going for bright this time, but also it needs to sit with these, so I think that is going to work beautiful. So maybe, and I want to do how can I explain, I want to do like a sort of rough terrain type thing. And I'm thinking I might use some hexes to then stitch some flowers on, something, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see how we go. So we've got that, we've got this lovely raw wool. Okay, we've got some of this mesh. We've got a different colour raw wool, and then we've got some really fat beautiful yarn. I'll tell you what, that reminds me of a spider for some reason. Sorry anyone that's got a thing about spiders. And then we've got some pale felt. It's got this beautiful glitter, but I feel that's a bit pink, so I'm not going to be using that today. May use that. And then we've got another felt in an orange. Look at the colours. We've got a pinky wool, so I'm going to put that over there. We've got some fabulous pink yarns, so that's going to go over there with that one. And then we've got gorgeous orange yarns. Definitely going to be using those. And that's what I'm going to use to stitch my flowers into these. And then we've got some beautiful orange thread, and then there's a little bit of like wire mesh. It's not wire, it's plastic, but sort of mesh. Okay, where are we going? So we're going to start with this beautiful orange silk. That's what we're going to start with. So let's get some of this down. Just going to cut a strip off. So exciting. It's always exciting when you've got new toys to play with, isn't it? For anybody that's wondering, these I know came from that Oliver Twists Etsy shop that I've told you about recently. I'm going to pull off these strands. They'll go in my alt jar if I can get them off my fingers. Right, so let's fold it so we can see where we are. Okay, so I'm thinking I want that rough side there so that I can see it. That is a bonded edge. I wonder if I can tear this. Oh, I think I can. If I've got a bigger... Oh, no I can't. Maybe if I had a... Yeah, see if I had a big... No, not really. Okay. But it has given us a shape and a lot of loose threads. So I think we're going to cut about there. Lots of threads, and I'm going to have that to the bottom, and then I want some of this real bright orange. Yeah, it's like a meshy cheeseclothy loveliness is what it is. So let's get rid of all of those strands that are now stuck everywhere. They're all over my top. Right, so I'm going to go like this, and then I want to bunch that up sort of there. You know I love a bunch up anyway. Tuck that piece under there, something like that, and then I'm going to have a little bit of this raw wool, which is just awesome. Look, I want to bring that up from the bottom, almost like flames, and then I'm going to have some pieces of this as well. We're going to have to, now I must remember, of course, I've got to sew that edge in, haven't I? There you go. So that's going to go like that. I'm just building up, and then I think I want a piece of this. That's going to sit under there and there. So you can see we've built up this sort of landscapey type. Yeah, I love it. Okay, I'm not going to use the bright orange. I'm going to set that to one side, and then what that tells me, you see, is I can pop that with my stitched flower about there, and then maybe I can get that one up there. So that's the plan. That's the plan, Stan. So we just need to bring this in a bit so that we can stitch our seam, and bring that down a bit. So I'm just going to pop some pins in, and then I'm going to grab some thread so that we can do an invisible lay down, visible stitch to lay all this down. And then I can do some florally stuff on that piece. Love that. All those different textures. It's beautiful. Right, have I got an orange thread? Oh, well, of course I've got this one. Duh. But this is a beautiful thread. I don't really want to waste that for basting down. We could use white. I don't know if I want to use white because I don't know if it's going to stand out when, hey presto, as if by magic, I've got an orange there. So let's find a small needle that I can put a thread in and base with. Okay, so how are you all? Sorry. I'm so excited to do this. Haven't really spoken to you. And I feel this is going to be quite a big project. Well, time wise, don't know if I'm going to get it all in the video or if I'm going to have to carry on off camera or even make it into 2 parts. Oh, who are you kidding, Claire? You can't wait to make it into 2 parts, can you? You're going to want to finish it. Mind you, I suppose I could just stop and start the camera. Then I could finish it and it would be in 2 parts. That would solve a number of problems. Okay, so here we go then. Let's pick up the one layer. I'm going to start up here on the felt and just do tiny top stitch, but then oops, almost into the same hole, but then a big back one. You all know how to do this, but because it's orange you will see little bits of it but not much, and then of course you're going to see less on this meshing, this brightly dyed cheesecloth as I feel it probably is. And I'm just going to sort of wrap and pull so that we haven't got giant holes in it from the needle, because it is very thin mesh. So still carrying on with the botanical, but in a much more artful today. Mind you, that was quite arty, wasn't it, that one? And it's March, so I'm on a new panel in my Anne Brooke stitch along. Super exciting. I'm not a big kid, I can't wait for the unveilings, and then they come and I'm like, oh, I am like a big kid, honestly. But then you probably already knew that. Okay. So another couple of stitches into this felt, and then we're into the silk through the mesh. Whoops. So what are you all up to? Also, of course, we're into March, aren't we? As I just said. So there is a new Roxy's Journal of Stitchery prompt. There you go. I am filming head, so the prompt's not out yet. I'm interested to see what that is this time. I didn't join in February because it was a wearable and I couldn't quite get my head around that. I mean, I know what wearables are, obviously. I did see some lovely bits that people have made. I've particularly liked the brooch that I saw Christine make. But yeah, so that's where I just went around and did my own little thing in February. We did some K3N stuff, I did some Anne Brooke stuff, I just jumped around all over the place. Right, now when it comes to these fibres, I know this from when I did my bag, you have to really pick them in because obviously they are all loose. But I think they make for a fabulous texture and a look. So I'm going to just try and work my way around and make sure I get a good bunch of them stitched down, and then we can do some fancy stitching on the top, and that'll obviously hold them a bit more secure. There's a needle in there, a pin in there somewhere. There it is. Let's pull that out before it gets stitched in and we can't get to it. I do love stitching with this stuff actually. It's obviously designed, well, it's designed to do whatever you want with once you own it. it's yours and you must do, you know, whatever you want. But I believe it's meant for spinning, to create, you know, your own wall. Right, now I'm going to go up here, but not through the fibre, because what I want to do here is scoop that fibre over there, and then I'll come back up there. So look, we've got a little bunch, and then again I'm going to scoop some fibres, not the felt, just sort of half of the fibre, and put my needle back over there. And look, this is where you can really manipulate it, which I love. And then I'm going to grab the end of it there and spin it over there. You see, you start to get lots of interesting things. It's a bit more flame-like now. Shouldn't really be doing this in March, should I? I should be doing it in November for like a bonfire night or something. But see, I'm just pulling them in, and then I'm going to go the other way and pull the orange, or some of the orange, back that way. Do you know what? If you're as old as I am, you might remember Tales of the Crypt. And that's what that flame like. They used to have ladies, didn't they? Like shadows of ladies dancing in flames. That sort of reminds me of that. There we go. So we've basically started here, worked all the way around, and we've got all of these pieces now onto our page. Oh, I pulled the thread out my needle. That's no good, Claire. Pop that back in. That's it. And this will be the last one. You can see, look, how we've worked all the way around, and we've got that all stitched onto our page. Okay. Now, ow, helps if you press in the bit with the spike rather than pressing the spike into your finger, Claire. Okay, so there it is. There's our background. It's a rather special background, isn't it? Right, now, where were my pieces? I'm now thinking the big one should be there, covering all of it. And then maybe the little one should be there, just coming off of that. So I need some normal fabric for that. So I'm going to shut you on pause for a minute. Okay, so I found some coffee dyed cotton, and this is what I'm basically going to use. So I'm going to put this here, and then we need a little tiny one there. So okay, now I'm going to cheat, And I'm not going to do a proper hexie. I'm just going to iron it, mainly because of the video time. So there's that one. And then we'll do this bigger one. I'm looking at the weather because I've got washing on the line and the sun's just disappeared and it's gone a bit grey. I hope that doesn't mean it's going to try and rain, because that won't make me very happy, that's for sure. Okay, whoops. There's all our little pieces out of the way. There's my, I didn't cut that very well, did I? That's because it was moving. Never mind. Right, if we move all of this off of my mat, trying not to poke myself. I can bring the iron in. Get rid of my threads, like so. Try and bring it up to make sure you can see. And I am expecting a parcel, so I might have to jump up to the postman. That's hubby sneezing. Obviously you can fast forward this bit if you want to. If you're horrified that I'm not doing it properly. And then this side. You see, the thing is with paper piercing, if you're not going to leave the cardboard in, when you stitch it, you can't take the cardboard out until you've attached it to the piece next door. Well, I'm not going to have a piece next door, am I? So that's part of the reason I'm doing it this way. So that's that one. Okay. If I take my cardboard out and put it all back down, I can give it a little press. Whoops. And then if I turn it over, there we go. There it is. Didn't take that long really, did it? Look. There's that one. And then this one. I'm going to do exactly the same. Because of course what I want to do is I want to stitch on it. I don't really want to make a hexie patch. So that's where it, to me, makes sense to do it this way. If you're a proper hexie maker, you're probably cringing. I do apologise. But it is what it is. Okay. Take them out. Fold it back down. And repress it. If I turn it over, there we go. I've got my two shapes. I'll turn my oil off and I can bring back my piece. So this one I said was going there. So I nearly pinned it through everything, forgetting that it was folded over. That's that one. And this one I said was going to hang off there. Oh great, we've got building work going on as well now. Right. So this doesn't appear straight to me. But then it wouldn't be mine if it was straight, would it? That's better. Sorry, I keep moving it around the desk to try and make sure that I'm I'm staying on camera for you. See, and I think when you open that together, they sit quite nicely, especially once we get all those vibrant threads stitched in. Perfect. I'm just trying to decide if I want to do a running stitch all the way around the edge to hold it down, or whether I would be happier with a blanket stitch. Right, well, we're going to use this thread anyway, but we're not going to use that bit. We're going to use this end. And what I think we're going to do is I'm just trying to decide. I think I'm going to do a running stitch, because also what I can do is obviously I can whip over that running stitch to make a, you know, an emphasised border. So, whoops, let's start there, I think. Give myself quite a... Well, I'm not going to do that, am I? Because then I'm going to have my knot at the top. Oh dear. See, I'm so excited to be doing this. I'm not thinking about the logistics of what I'm doing. Although, so far so good, I think. Right, let's try this again. So, got a nice hole there. There. Okay. Oh. Right. Okay, let's go. So, yes, that's going to work for me. Oh, but not if I pull all my fibres out. I think next door are having a new fence in their back garden. I think that's what it is, because I'm sure yesterday I heard them ripping down the other one. I didn't initially think they were going to bother, because there was a double fence where the people in the house, the other side of them, out, had put a fence up within their garden. So it's like a double fence. And when they took their fence down next door, oh no! Now it's a good job this is for me, isn't it? Because look, I've just bloodied on that. Oh, and that looks like it's going to keep bleeding. So we need to put a bit of a plaster on that. As I say, fortunately, this is for me, so there'll be no DNA issues. That's a bit of a nightmare though, isn't it? Oh well. I've got a bright red spot. At least we're not working in blue. Didn't realise this needle was that sharp, to be honest. But it obviously is. Oh, and I've pulled the needle off again. It's not going well, is it? So, now of course I can't feel properly with that finger. Oh dear. Such is life and all that. I feel like I must be due for a cup of coffee. That's probably why it's all going a bit peak tong. Right, let's finish this off. And I think rather than keep them the same, I'll do blanket stitch around the other one. So this one down here, oops, yes, I can't use that finger. Oh dear, that's funny. Well, I think it's funny anyway. Right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to start here. Okay, let's start in the middle, why not? come off again. Right. That. There we go. We're getting somewhere now. I'm going to go either side of the point of the elongated hexie just because I can, and I think it's a little bit more, put it behind, it's just a little bit more artistic, and artistic is the word for the day. Whilst we are stitching, I'm stitching in an artistic manner. Well, that's my excuse anyway. Whoops. And I'm going to come under that point again, like that. Get back under there. Obviously didn't iron that one as firmly as I did the big one. That's better. Right, take the pin out, as I feel another bloodletting is likely. You probably think, goodness me, Claire, this is a bit boring today. How can anything with all these fabulous fabrics and threads be boring, even if, you know, there's no major skill in what's being done? It's just awesomeness. I'm going to go back under the point. Oh, I stitched the thread down, that's no good, is it? There we go. So I'm afraid I'm a bit chatless because I'm just having so much fun doing this. Probably an ideal time to listen to music while watching. Actually, that's interesting. What do you do when you sew? Do you sew in front of the television? Do you sew in silence? Do you sew to music? Do you just sew regardless? Because I know we often say we sew for peace and harmony, but do we sew in peace? I'm actually going to run out of thread, aren't I? Ah! Right, I'm going to pull this one through to the back and get some new thread, because that's never going to work to get to the end, and it's just going to be a nightmare constantly threading the needle. So we'll get a bit more. And part of this kit was all these beautiful beads, so we're definitely going to have some beads in this. So I'm thinking, actually, this might be part 2, mightn't it? So what I think I'll do is I'll get this hexie stitched down, and then I had better check I need to pull that thread up. Yes, sorry. I'll get this hexie done. I'll do a time check, and then it might be a case that I turn the camera off. Sorry, that's a cheat hexie there. Did you see that? Because for some reason I got myself in a knot. There you go. And then we'll see, you know, how long I've kept you, and if it makes sense to do a part 2. And I think that's going to be the postman with a parcel. So Booby's probably going to start barking. There we go, we've got that back where it should be. And back down there. So yeah, there was some bad cheat stitches there, just getting it all lined back up. But if you don't tell them, nobody will know. Right, let me just check the time. Yeah, see, we've been here 3/4 of an hour. So I'm going to stop you there and say I'll see you in part 2. Ta-ta for now.